If I had to ask you if you thought that or that would fit better in a backpack, which would you pick? Well, chances are it's not this full-size 16-inch rifle, but that is the correct answer. Today we're going to show you why. This right here is a 16-inch AR-15. This is a 10.5-inch AR-style firearm. One of these fits inside a normal backpack, and it's not this one. I'm going to show you breaking down the size comparisons of the Fold AR upper receiver group on an AR-15 rifle type lower and some various other small configurations and show you why you might actually want to go with something like this if you're looking for a small backpackable firearm that has the full capabilities that the AR-15 was designed to do. So let's show you some stuff. Right here we have a normal backpack. This is about the same size as a JanSport backpack. We have a couple different configurations of firearms here. All of these are chambered in 5.56. So right here we have an AR-15 M4 style upper receiver group and lower. This one is a 16-inch barrel with the muzzle brake on it. This right here is the Fold AR upper receiver, which would be a normal 16-inch rifle, but when it folds down and out of the way, is significantly smaller and can be put inside of a backpack. This right here is a 10.5-inch BRN180 style upper receiver on a lower receiver with a folding pistol brace on it. This right here is a 5.56 5-inch AR-15 chambered in 5.56, like I said, with a Law tactical folding brace on it. It also has a Surefire Warden, which adds some length to it. I'm going to show you the size comparisons in length, and then we're going to show you that they do or do not fit inside of a backpack. So the reason I'm showing you all this is because in my recent video talking about the Fold AR rifle system, a lot of people said, why don't you just get like a 10.5? Why don't you just use a folding brace or a folding stock? Why don't you just take the upper and lower apart? Well, we're going to demonstrate to you today why this is actually the smallest. In addition to just, you could see it on camera here, this is smaller than pretty much everything except for the 5-inch, which has its own set of drawbacks, but we'll put them in backpacks and show you what is and is not actually concealable in a typical style of bag. So, AR-15 upper receiver with a 16-inch barrel sticks out a whole lot. Lower receiver fits in just fine, but you are not fitting a standard AR-15 upper receiver inside of a backpack because the 16-inch barrel is 16 inches. The upper receiver adds about 7.5 or 8 inches of length to it. The total length of this with a somewhat long muzzle brake is 25.5 inches. Not exactly that concealable. Then, if we look at the Fold AR upper receiver, that folds and pivots at the upper. So it would sit like this, it pivots at the upper receiver, which is very compact, very packable. This total length is 17 inches. It can technically even go shorter and be about the length, 16.5, 17 inches. This full-size AR-15 that has the benefits of having the velocity that you want in a 5.56 fits very easily inside of this bag. Now, obviously, if you were going to deploy this, you would have to take it out of the bag, open it up, and then lock it engaged. This is kind of hard to do on camera when I'm trying to present it to you. But the benefit of this is that you now actually have the capabilities that you want when you get something chambered in 5.56. Unlike something like a 5-inch barrel. So, full-size rifle, 16-inch barrel, fits inside of a backpack very easily. Overall length, 17 inches. Taking the upper and lower apart, the lower, easy to put in a bag, no problem. The upper, though, is still then going to be approximately 25 to 26 inches, which is not all that easy to fit inside of a bag. Now, this gun that we have here is an AR-15 pistol. You know, it's a pistol. A lot of people like these because they're small, compact, you know. This one uses a BRN180 upper receiver, which allows you to actually fire this gun while it's folded. If you had a standard AR-15 upper receiver with something like a Law tactical folding brace on it, you would no longer be able to fire it while folded. Personally, I would not recommend putting a loaded gun inside of a loaded rifle or a loaded AR-15 style pistol inside of a backpack, because if it's just loosely flailing around in there, if the safety comes off and you pull the trigger, that's not good. Or if the trigger just gets pulled, that's not very good. But the benefit of this is that you could keep a round loaded magazine in the gun, theoretically if it's legal, then try to put this in here. However, the overall length of this 10.5-inch barrel with the brace sticking off the back end of it is 21 inches, which is longer than 17 inches. If I were to put this in a bag, this is, again, normal size backpack. It just barely, almost fits inside of here. I can technically get it to close and zip over it, sorta, but this exactly sticks out a whole lot, and this is not a particularly inconspicuous setup. So the 10.5, in the most ideal configuration, the 10.5 BRN180 is bigger and less concealable than a 16-inch upper receiver utilizing the Fold AR folding system. Crazy. Let's move this off to the side. Bring this up here. Now, this is quite possibly the silliest AR-15 that I own. This is a K-Tactical 5.5-inch 5.56 upper on an AR-15 pistol lower receiver. This one actually has been Form 1 NFA stamped to be in any other weapon. This is a pistol brace, not a folding stock. Unfolded, we are looking at about 24 inches in the shortest configuration. Folded, this gun is, would you look at that, 17 inches. It's the same size as this. Actually, I'll give it this. This one is 17. This is maybe like 17 and a half. Actually, no. This one's just under 17. Trying to find the longest distance. This one is just under 17. Same exact size. 3 times the barrel length, same size. Obviously, this is going to fit in a bag. If I was going to go with something like a 5-inch barrel, I would not recommend 5.56. This is just what I have because it's funny. I did a video on this. This is cool, but it's not very effective or practical. This is cool, and if you have the use case that would necessitate it, is significantly more practical than that ridiculous 5.5-inch setup. Now, this is neat because it can fire while folded. I would not recommend keeping any of these loaded inside of a backpack, but if you were going to choose an option of how to store a backpackable firearm, it would either be something like this with a folding brace with a BRN180 upper, or having the full capabilities of 5.56 on tap with the Fold AR gives you a significantly ballistically superior firearm, in my opinion. These all fit in backpacks to various degrees. This one, not really at all. Lower receiver, not the problem. Getting a folding brace does not solve your problem. The folding brace, the reason that a folding brace or a folding stock does not solve the problem is because when you have the upper receiver, the barrel is 16 inches. Great, right? That's not very big, but the barrel is attached to an upper receiver, which then means you're looking at about 24, 25 inches. That is not very concealable. That extra upper receiver length makes it not fit into a standard backpack anymore, which is why this, in my opinion, is an actually potentially viable option. If you're interested in the backpack AR-15 concept, I definitely believe that the Fold AR system is the way to go. I mean, this is a fairly simple system to work with. I wouldn't recommend storing one of these with a loaded round in the chamber, regardless of what of these concealable systems you choose to go with. But this gives you the full capabilities of 5.56 in a package that is smaller than anything but a ridiculously tiny 5.5-inch AR-15, which I would not recommend in 5.56, maybe 9mm, but at that point, get a PDW. Get something chambered in a round that makes sense for a 5-inch barrel, not 5.56. Even 300 blackout would be a better option, but at that point, just get a PDW. PDWs seem like they are interesting. If you're into the backpack gun concept, this kind of lets you dabble with that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.